3 American supercarriers, 100 kilometers of controlled ocean, the largest naval confrontation since the Cold War is about to unfold. 100,000 tons of American steel cuts through Pacific waters. USS Gerald R. Ford, USS Nimitz, USS Carl Vinson. 3 carrier strike groups converge on contested waters. This isn't a drill. This is power projection at its absolute peak. The mission is clear. Freedom of navigation. International waters stay international. When diplomatic channels fail, carrier strike groups deliver the message that words cannot. Here's what China sees on their radar screens. 90 F-35C Lightning II stealth fighters, 40 F-A-18E F Super Hornets, 6 E-2D Advanced Hawkeye early warning aircraft, complete air superiority across 500,000 square kilometers of ocean and sky. But China isn't backing down without a show of force. Type 055 destroyers push forward. The Renhai-class guided missile destroyers, their most advanced surface combatants. 13,000 tons each. 112 vertical launch cells packed with anti-ship missiles. This is their technological pride on full display. The plan deploys 8 Type 055 destroyers in defensive formation. Their mission: deny access. Their reality: they're facing 3 decades of American carrier operations experience they simply cannot match. Navy Power TV brings you the technological breakdown of what happens when cutting edge meets combat-proven superiority. The Ford-class electromagnetic launch system cycles every 45 seconds. F-35C after F-35C launches into contested airspace. China's Fujian carrier, with its electromagnetic catapult system, tries to match the tempo. They launch J-15 fighters. 35-year-old design versus 5th-generation stealth technology. The gap is measured in technological generations. Which weapon system is deadlier in this scenario? A. F-35C stealth capability. B. Type 055 missile loadout. C. Aegis combat system? Drop your answer below. American E-2D Hawkeyes orbit at 25,000 feet. Their AN/APY-9 radar sees everything. Every ship, every aircraft, every missile launcher within 550 kilometers. The Chinese formation has 0 secrets. Complete battlefield transparency belongs to the United States Navy. The Type 055 destroyers activate their Type 346B AEGIS radar systems. Impressive technology. 5,000 transmit-receive modules scanning the horizon. But here's the problem. American electronic warfare capabilities have been jamming superior systems for decades. USS Arleigh Burke-class destroyers form the outer defensive ring. 70 Aegis-equipped vessels exist in the U.S. fleet. China operates 0 vessels with comparable combat system integration. The technological maturity gap cannot be bridged in years. It takes decades of operational experience, constant upgrades, and real-world battle management refinement that only comes from actual carrier strike group operations across multiple theaters simultaneously. 6 American destroyers position themselves in picket formation. Their SPY-6V radars form an integrated air defense network. Cooperative engagement capability links every sensor to every shooter. 1 destroyer sees the threat. 6 destroyers can engage it. This is network-centric warfare that China's fleet simply cannot replicate with their current technology integration level. Stay with me. The next weapon system changes everything in this confrontation. China makes their move. Long-range anti-ship missiles launch from mainland bases. DF-21D carrier killers arc toward their targets. Mach 10 warheads designed specifically to sink American supercarriers. This is the moment they've prepared for. The weapon system that's supposed to keep U.S. carriers 1,500 kilometers from Chinese shores. Aegis Baseline 10 locks onto the incoming threats. SM-3 Block TIA missiles launch from multiple destroyers. Exo-atmospheric interception. The carrier killers die in space before they ever threaten the strike groups. 32 missiles fired. 32 intercepts achieved. The DF-21D threat just became theoretical again. Navy Power TV shows you why technological superiority isn't just about having advanced weapons. It's about having battle-tested systems integrated across an entire fleet with decades of operational refinement that creates layered defense networks impossible to penetrate with even the most advanced individual weapon systems. The Chinese Type 055 destroyers activate their vertical launch systems. YJ-18 anti-ship missiles ripple fire toward American positions. Subsonic cruise to supersonic terminal phase. 290-kilometer range. Serious threat on paper, but paper specifications don't account for American electronic warfare capabilities and multi-layered defense systems. American destroyers engage with SM-6 missiles, dual-role weapons that work against aircraft and missiles. The YJ-18 swarm encounters a wall of interceptors. EA-18G Growlers jam Chinese targeting radars. Chaff clouds bloom across the battle space. The missile attack collapses into confusion and premature detonations. Chinese commanders watch their most advanced anti-ship missiles fail against American defenses. The Type 055 destroyers represent 15 years of naval modernization. They're impressive vessels, but they're untested in actual combat against a peer adversary with 30 years more experience in carrier operations and integrated air defense. How fast can an F-35C reach its combat radius? A. 45 minutes, B. 28 minutes, C. 15 minutes. Answer coming at the end. The American F-35C fighters penetrate Chinese combat air patrol zones. Their stealth characteristics make them nearly invisible to Type 346B radars until they're inside missile launch parameters. Chinese J-15 fighters scramble to intercept, but they're fighting blind. Their radar warning receivers scream. They're being tracked. They can't see by what? AMRAAM missiles launch from F-35C internal weapons bays. Beyond visual range kills. The J-15 formation breaks apart. Some escape back to their carrier. Others go into the ocean. The Americans never even entered visual range. This is fifth-generation dominance versus fourth-generation desperation. The Fujian carrier attempts to recover its remaining aircraft. Their electromagnetic catapult system is advanced technology, but they have 6 months of operational experience with it. The USS Gerald R. Ford has been operating its EMALS system in combat conditions for years. Experience matters when sailors' lives depend on equipment reliability under stress. Navy Power TV reveals the uncomfortable truth that China's military leadership must now confront. Technological parity on paper means nothing without operational experience in actual combat conditions against a sophisticated adversary with mature doctrine and battle-tested systems. The Type 055 destroyers begin withdrawing. They haven't been sunk, but they've been defeated. Every missile they fired was intercepted. Every aircraft they launched was outmatched. Their most advanced weapon systems proved inadequate against American technological superiority and operational experience that cannot be replicated in training exercises or computer simulations alone. 3 American carrier strike groups maintain their position. Freedom of navigation operations continue. The message is delivered. International waters remain international. Chinese claims of control are theoretical. American capability to operate anywhere at any time is demonstrated fact. Quantity or quality? China has numbers. America has capability. Comment Q for quantity or L for quality in this scenario. This confrontation reveals the massive gap between emerging naval powers and established blue water navies. China has built impressive ships. They've developed advanced weapons. But they lack the operational experience, the battle-tested doctrine, the integrated training, and the combat-proven systems that come from decades of continuous operations across every ocean on the planet. The Ford-class carriers demonstrate why America invested in electromagnetic launch systems. Higher sortie rates, more aircraft in the air faster, sustained operations that overwhelm adversary planning. The Chinese Fujian carrier with similar technology cannot match the operational tempo, because technology alone isn't enough without experienced crews and refined procedures. American pilots return to their carriers. 0 losses. Complete mission success. The F-35C proved its combat value in contested airspace against advanced integrated air defense systems. Stealth technology, sensor fusion, and beyond visual range capability created a combat advantage that Chinese fourth-generation fighters simply cannot overcome. Navy Power TV examines the strategic implications. China invested heavily in anti-access area denial strategies. They built weapons specifically to keep American carriers away from their shores. This confrontation proved those weapons ineffective against modern American defenses. The strategic calculus just shifted dramatically in favor of continued U.S. Pacific naval dominance. The Aegis combat system demonstrated why it remains the world's premier integrated air and missile defense platform. 40 years of continuous development and combat refinement created a system that can handle multiple simultaneous threats from multiple directions, while coordinating with other vessels in a seamless defensive network that enemies cannot penetrate with current technology. If you believe naval technology dominance belongs to the United States, type Navy Power TV in the comments right now. The Type 055 destroyers retreat to their territorial waters. They're not destroyed, they're outmatched. Chinese naval leadership must now report to their government that their most advanced surface combatants cannot effectively challenge American carrier strike groups in open ocean confrontations. The investment in carrier killer missiles produced weapons that can be defeated by American defenses. This is the reality of modern naval warfare. Technology matters, but experience, training, doctrine, and integrated systems matter more. China has impressive individual platforms. America has a fully integrated naval warfare system refined through decades of actual combat operations that create capability gaps measured in technological generations rather than just years. 3 carrier strike groups represent more than just ships and aircraft. They represent American commitment to maintaining freedom of navigation. They represent technological investment across multiple decades. They represent operational experience that cannot be purchased or replicated through rapid modernization programs alone. The South China Sea remains open to international shipping. Chinese territorial claims remain challenged. American naval superiority remains demonstrated. This confrontation will influence Chinese naval strategy for the next decade. The lesson is clear. Building impressive ships is one thing. Operating them effectively against the United States Navy is something entirely different. Which technology will dominate Pacific naval warfare in 2030? Electromagnetic railguns, directed energy weapons, or hypersonic missiles? Comment your prediction below. Technology supremacy demonstrated. 3 carrier strike groups. 0 losses. Complete mission success. The F-35C reaches its combat radius in approximately 28 minutes at military power settings. That's the answer to our earlier question. Speed, stealth, and capability combined in one platform that proved its combat value today. Can China counter American carrier strike group superiority? Current evidence says no. What's next for Pacific naval strategy? America continues developing next-generation systems while maintaining operational experience advantage that competitors cannot match through accelerated building programs alone. Subscribe to Navy Power TV, where technology